Hello YouTube chess lovers and my friends, this is Gunjan here. Welcome to the 47th episode of Dirty Chess Tricks. In this episode, you are going to see a wonderful trick and a high profile trap in the Portuguese or the Jadoul Gambit. The interesting part is, recently Carlsen used this line in Pro Chess League to beat Indian Grandmaster Vaibhav Suri, and if a 2600 strength Grandmaster can fall for this, then certainly your opponent can be next victim. The opening arises after the following move order: e4, d5, e captures d5, and now the modern Scandinavian variation knight to f6. So black's big idea is he wants to take back the pawn with knight, and accordingly the main line continues with d4. So what white is aiming that after black capture with the knight, then he can play the move c4 and grab every single space in the center of the board. Okay, but instead of routinely capturing the d5 pawn, black's idea is more potent. He wants to play this move, bishop to g4, attacking the queen and gambiting the d5 pawn. Here, if white continues with either the move knight to f3 or bishop to e2, then I think black get a playable position. So the only way to get advantage as a white has to continue with f3, counterattacking the bishop, which in fact white played in this game. Bishop to f5, and now here white has two choices: bishop to b5 check, and the second highest popular choice, namely c4. So idea is very simple. White wants to be greedy and consolidate his extra pawn. After this, black should play a true gambit style, and accordingly e6 move is a fitting reply. D captures e6, maintaining the good center. And you might think, okay, black will capture with bishop or the f pawn. But here comes the super surprise. Black more or less doesn't care about the pawns. He is speeding ahead with his piece development, knight to c6. Here if white continue with d5, then knight to b4 is a very strong reply. But it is very obvious that white is not going to miss this check. He captures f7, and after king takes f7, at least white can argue that he has misplaced black king, and on top he is a clear pawn up. So what can be the better than that? Well, as the game progresses, we are going to see the vital point behind the move king to f7. Right now black has attacked the d4 pawn, and there are two ways white can defend this pawn. The first move, d5, which is in fact an inaccuracy by white, as a simple continuation, knight to b4 gives black a great attacking position. A sample line can run like this: knight to a3, defending c2, bishop to c5, so permanently stopping white to castle on the king side, and rook to e8 is coming in the picture very fast. And if white continue with bishop to e2, then rook to e8 will happen anyways. There is one quick game in the database, will finished just within 12 moves, and here white made the ultimate error, bishop to d2, trying to get rid of the knight, but what he missed is, after knight to d3 check, king to f1 and knight to f2, white has a disgusting position. So accordingly, bishop to e3 is the most popular choice by white. Afterwards, black will continue with this sneaky check, And here it doesn't matter whether white continue with king to f2 or knight to c3, the line will be transposed. Let's say in this game white continue with knight to c3, and after rook to e8, attacking on the bishop, white has the only good reply, namely king to f2, protecting that bishop. And what white is dreaming is, okay, time being, I am behind in development, but I have a wonderful center, and as my pieces are going to come out, my position will surely improve. Now we reach to the critical position of this line, and if you check in online database, you will find out that there are more than 100 games played from this position where black winning ratio is tremendous. Before I move on, I like you to pause this video and find out a decisive sequence or the move which create the death knell for the white camp. Okay, the poisonous sequence start with this decisive move. Boom! So destroying the defender of the d4 square and drawing white king in the center of the board. Well, now comes the second step, and this is most important, how we can exploit this king. And before I move on, I like you to pause a second time and find out a move which in fact instantly kill the white. Take your time because this move is one of the wonderful moves in this line. Well, if you believe it or not, but even Carlsen didn't find this move in his game. He continued with knight captures d4, which is in fact the third best choice of the engine. One of my friend recently played a FIDE tournament and he has a strength of 2000. He faced an opponent which has around 1600 rating, and he reached to the same position thinking that there is not much going on in the position, but his opponent played the top move of the engine which literally shake him off. Let me just show you this move, bishop to c2. Take a time out and look at how pitiable white position is after this move. My friend here thought for 30 minutes and couldn't find a solution for the white camp. This simple move, bishop to c2, is a deflection move for the queen, so that if the queen captures the bishop or go somewhere else where she can no longer protect the d4 pawn, let's say queen to e1, then the simplest move is queen captures d4, and after king to e2 and bishop to c5, the mate is unavoidable for the white. And I just like to show you this game because how entertaining the finish is. My friend continued with the obvious move, queen to d2, staying in protection of the d4 pawn. But then he get this rude shock. Bam! So this decisive blow confirms that black will have all the fun and white king will literally do a moonwalk towards the black camp. Well, obviously you cannot take this knight. The simple reason is after queen to g5 check, king to e2, and now rook to e8, at least that queen is a goner. So that's not a good choice for the white. That means white king has to come forward, king to f4. Okay guys, let's get ready. This is the final time I'm asking you to pause this video and find out how you are going to finish off white. I'll give you a hint, there is a mate in phi on the board. Are you ready? Let's get started. The first move is very obvious. Bishop to d6 check. King captures g4. Now comes the second dazzling sacrifice. Bishop to f5 check. If king to h5, then g6 leads to the mate. So white has to accept this piece sacrifice. Afterwards, the most critical moment of the game, and many people miss this. The third and the most important move at this position is queen to h4, stopping any backpedal for the white king. And now black has a simple threat, g6, checkmating white king. Here it doesn't matter whether white continue with f4 or g4, let's say g4, but against each of them, black response is very obvious, rook to e8, cutting down all the hope for the white. And the most amazing part about this position is there are three ways black can checkmate white king, and white doesn't have a single check available in this position. That's it guys. I hope you enjoy and learn this wonderful line of the Jadoul Gambit, which you definitely want to consider in your own tournament game. Remember, once you reach this position, play this super surprising move, bishop to c2. And after this, it is only white king who is fighting for the survival. Well, thank you for watching this video. Feel free to like, subscribe and comment on this. And I'll meet you in my next episode very soon. Bye and take care.